Alright, so we're back with another roundup of budget-friendly PSN deals, and this time I'm focusing on games under $10 or your regional equivalent, covering the US, Canada, UK, EU and Australia. And in this one, I've got everything from AAA hits to indie classics, even a few hidden gems that you won't want to miss. Also then stick around for a new giveaway, I'll be announcing that shortly into the video. And if you do enjoy deal rundowns like this, do us a favour, hit that subscribe button, helps the channel a ton. Now, let's get into the deals. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Complete Edition is an absolute steal right now with 80% off a new low price, and this is one of the greatest RPGs ever made. And then the Complete Edition, well, it makes it even better by including both massive expansions, that's Hearts of Stone and Blood and Wine, adding over 50 hours of gameplay to what was already an enormous experience. It also comes featuring next-gen enhancements for PS5 owners, think ray tracing, improved visuals, faster loading, and DualSense compatibility. Now story-wise, you play as the Witcher, a monster slayer for hire, on a quest to track down the Child of Prophecy, a being whose existence could shape the fate of this world. Along the way, you'll navigate political intrigue, face moral dilemmas, and battle monsters ranging from cunning supernatural predators to massive beasts. The gameplay then, it blends fast-paced strategic combat with exploration across a massive open world. On this journey as well, expect to upgrade weapons, craft armor, and use magic to tackle challenges. Beyond the main quest then, there are endless distractions, Gwent card games, fist-fighting tournaments, treasure hunts, monster contracts. The expansions alone as well, in my opinion here, they're worth the price, with Blood and Wine offering an entirely new region to explore, and yet overall, an RPG masterpiece that still sets the standard for the genre. Pepper Grinder is 40% off a new low price. It's another creative gem from Devolver Digital, a publisher known for finding the weird and wonderful. Now it's a fast-paced action-packed platformer with a unique twist. You use the Grinder, a powerful drilling device, to navigate terrain, solve puzzles and take out enemies. It's really all about momentum-based gameplay as you burrow through different surfaces, leaping into the air and pulling off some crazy stunts. Now the story then, minimal. You're reclaiming treasure stolen by these gnarlings, but the gameplay shines. Along the way then, you'll find upgrades for the Grinder, unlock new paths, and collect treasures to spend on enhancements. The world and the pixel style in general look lovely too, and yet overall, it's creative, chaotic, and incredibly satisfying with a really unique gameplay loop that definitely keeps things feeling fresh. The Quarry is 86% off, matching its lowest price, and if you're into cinematic horror games like Until Dawn or the Dark Pictures anthology, this is a must-play. Now set on the last day of summer camp, the story follows 9 teenage counselors whose party plans go horribly wrong as they're hunted by blood-soaked locals and something even worse. Gameplay focuses on decision-making over action. Your choices shape the story and decide who lives or dies. There's some light exploration then, quick time events, and even a multiplayer where up to 7 friends can vote on decisions, where you can play couch co-op. If none of this sounds like your thing and you prefer to just watch, Movie Mode lets you sit back and simply enjoy the drama. Now note, this pricing is for the PS5 version. The PlayStation 4 version, it's $1 cheaper or your regional equivalent. Alright, so thanks to Cubic Games then, we've got 5 copies of Star Trek Legends on PlayStation, US codes to give away. To enter, just write Star Trek in your comment and the winners will be announced on January 4th. You can enter here on this video. I'll also pull entries from the dedicated giveaway video as well, so you've got 2 chances to win. I'll be linking that video in the pinned comment below. Good luck all, and now back to the deals. Persona 4 Arena Ultimax is 70% off, and if you're into 2D fighters with incredible animations, this one is a standout. That said, a heads up here, the story mode leans heavily into visual novel territory, and without a solid grasp of Persona 4 and even a bit of Persona 3, it's going to be tough to follow. Even as a fan of the series, I found it confusing after a long break, so do consider that if story's a priority. Gameplay wise, however, it's a blast. The combat is accessible, but it has layers of depth for those who want to, dive in and study it. And each character brings unique moves. You can even infect players' shadow versions for entirely different fighting styles. With dual audio options, a deep roster, and all previously released content included, this one, it's just feature rich essentially. So yeah, overall, if you're looking for stylish battles and tight mechanics, I think this one delivers. Streets of Rage 4 is 60% off, matching its lowest price, a deal we've only ever seen once before. Now if you are a brawler fan, this is one of the best on PlayStation, sitting comfortably alongside Shredder's Revenge. Now the story follows Axel, Blaze, Adam and newcomers Floyd and Cherry as they team up to take back the streets from a new threat in what is, well, let's face it, a beloved series. It's a classic tale though of good versus evil, but the focus here, it's all on the action, and that gameplay stays true to its roots with satisfying combos, hard-hitting mechanics, and a variety of characters to choose from, each with unique abilities. There is local co-op then for up to 4 players, or online support for 2. It just makes it perfect for teaming up with friends. Add in then unlockable retro characters, classic music tracks, and incredible hand-drawn visuals, and this is just a masterful return for the series. Now, if you are then looking to extend the experience, the Mr. X Nightmare DLC adds new survival modes, characters, and customization options. That's also on sale at 55% off, so yeah, could be a perfect add-on for fans. Chernobylite Complete Edition is 75% off a new low price, and it's a game I really enjoyed at launch. Now since then it's received several updates and patches, solidifying its place as a cult favourite, and well, deservedly so. If you are into atmospheric survival games with a touch of horror, it's going to be one to check out. Now the story puts you in the shoes of Igor, a physicist returning to the Chernobyl exclusion zone decades after the nuclear disaster to uncover the truth about the mysterious disappearance of his fiancée. The game basically combines elements of survival, stealth, and combat with a hauntingly realistic setting thanks to developers Farm 51's decision to actually 3D scan the real world location. The result is basically a world that feels just incredibly immersive, almost like Stalker, but think with a more subdued and personal narrative. Now, the gameplay then involves exploring the dangerous zone, scavenging resources, and battling hostile forces, including supernatural entities. You'll also manage a team of companions, build and upgrade your base, and make critical decisions that shape that story. So yeah, it's a blend of strategy, survival, and emotional storytelling, and no 2 playthroughs are exactly the same. So overall, if you are a fan of kind of atmospheric, story-driven experiences with a dose of realism, and of course, you know, supernatural, it's a fantastic pickup, especially at this price. Somerville is 60% off a new low price. This comes from Jumpship, a studio co-founded by a former Playdead developer best known for Limbo and Inside. Now, while it doesn't quite hit the same heights as those games, it's still a solid sci-fi adventure with plenty to like. That said, some design elements like fleeing sequences can feel a bit frustrating, but overall, I had fun with it. And the story has you trying to reunite with your family after an alien invasion throws the world into chaos. As you explore what's left behind, you'll uncover more about the aliens and the people who resisted them, with plenty of twists along the journey. Now, the gameplay focuses on exploration and environmental puzzles, using light-based mechanics to clear paths, solve problems, and survive encounters. So yeah, this one, it's all about observing the world and finding or figuring out how to navigate it. There are also multiple endings to find dependent on the choices you do make. And yeah, look, it's not perfect, but for fans of kind of narrative-driven adventures, I think Somerville is an interesting ride, especially at this discount. Dordogne, a name I'm absolutely butchering, is 50% off, matching its lowest price for only the second time ever, but this is the kind of hidden gem you don't really see too often on PlayStation channels. So yeah, if you're after something chill and wholesome, it's a lovely little adventure, perfect for younger players or even just playing alongside kids. Adults, don't get me wrong, I played this one solo, absolutely loved it, but I do think for kids, it tackles a few heavier themes, and I think it's handled in a way that could spark, you know, healthy conversations. The story that follows Mimi, who revisits her childhood memories of summers spent with her late grandmother. As you explore the stunning landscapes of this location in beautiful watercolor visuals, you'll uncover family secrets and reflect on how the past shapes the present. Gameplay involves, light exploration, collecting photos, sounds, and sense to fill a journal unique to that journey. It's really more about soaking up the atmosphere and storytelling than challenge, but it delivers a really kind of nostalgic experience. So yeah, if you enjoy games that focus on emotion and story, it's well worth checking out. And again, I can't say this too many times, those visuals, the watercolor style, absolutely incredible. Laika Aged Through Blood is my pickup of the week then, meaning not a straight recommendation, but maybe you want to take the plunge, join me for that ride. This one's been on my radar for a while, and with 50% off here, a new low price, I think it's the perfect time for me to dive in. Now, the gameplay is incredibly unique, blending the exploration and progression of a Metroidvania with high-speed vehicular combat. Now you traverse a hand-drawn post-apocalyptic wasteland on a motorbike using tricks like backflips to reload your gun and slow-motion aiming to take down enemies. Expect some epic boss fights, challenging missions, and skill-based power-ups to master as you race through this dangerous world. Now story-wise, it's about vengeance and survival, following a mother coyote warrior fighting to reclaim what her tribe lost to occupying forces. Beneath the action, then, it explores a deeper tale of family and loss, and yeah, considers itself a motorphania, so really like the concept, loving the look of the art style, gameplay sounds like great fun, so I'm hoping it's just something a little different. Untitled Goose Game is 50% off and matching its lowest price, and this is one of those indie gems that's become a modern classic, especially for me with the addition of local two-player co-op. The premise is simple, yet brilliant. You play as a mischievous goose wreaking havoc on a quaint little village. It's a stealth puzzle game at heart, where your goal is to complete a checklist of chaos, stealing items, setting up pranks, hunking your way into everyone's bad books. But the gameplay is so creative and open-ended, it lets you explore various areas like gardens, shops, the village green, all while figuring out how to cause maximum disruption. And then with two-player mode as well, you can now team up with a friend for double the hunking and hijinks. The minimalist, colourful art style then is the cherry on top of what is an incredibly silly but fun experience. Kentucky Route Zero is 60% off, matching its lowest price, and if narrative-driven games are your thing, it's a must-play. It's a surreal, magical, realist adventure that unfolds over 5 acts, blending haunting visuals, an incredible soundtrack, and actually a deeply moving story. The less you know here going in, the better. It's really all about discovery, so I'm kind of sticking to the blurb here, but set in Kentucky, the game follows a secret underground highway and the strange, captivating people who travel and work along it, from an antique shop delivery driver to ghostly TV repair workers, robot musicians, and more. The characters and settings, just unforgettable. The gameplay then leans more into exploration and dialogue, letting you shape the narrative through choices rather than, traditional mechanics. Basically though, for me, if you like the genre, just buy it. It's well worth it. Ghostrunner 2 is 75% off, matching its lowest price, and while it's very much more of the same, it's not a bad thing when the original was a cyberpunk piece of genius, basically. If you are up for ultra challenging, lightning fast action, it is your game, and it cranks everything here up to 11. And it's set a year after the events of the first game. You play as Jack, humanity's cyber-enhanced savior, taking on a violent AI cult threatening the fragile remnants of society. That story is straightforward, but it expands the lore behind the confines of Dharma Tower with non-linear levels and new motorbike sections, adding a dash, of variety. The gameplay then, it's brutal, stylish, first-person slashing with a lot of one-hit kills, and yeah, you'll wield a katana in breakneck combat, chaining together kills while dodging attacks with precision. So yeah, enemies here are going to adapt to your new skill set, keeping it challenging throughout, and the revamped progression system lets you experiment with different builds. The addition then of interactive environments like destructible walls and exploding barrels definitely makes it feel a little bit more action-packed, plus the synthwave soundtrack, it's as killer as ever, honestly. It just dials up the adrenaline non-stop. So yeah, if you love the first game, this sequel's a no-brainer. Citizen Sleeper is 70% off a new low price. It's easily one of the best indie RPGs I've played. With a sequel coming this January then, it's a great time to check it out. Now you play as a sleeper, a worker who's escaped a grim corporate fate and ended up on a crumbling space station at the edge of civilization. The story here focuses on survival, building relationships, and shaping your future, or at least escaping your past. The writing here is the standout, with characters and narratives that are both incredibly engaging but also emotional. The gameplay then leans into tabletop RPG mechanics with a dice-based system that lets you allocate actions each day, so whether that's repairing systems, forging alliances, uncovering secrets, making choices. It's really a case of how do you spend limited resources so you can define your path. Basically, every decision here carries weight, and the flexibility keeps it feeling so fresh across multiple playthroughs. I've played it like 3 or 4 times at this point. So yeah, if you're into narrative-driven RPGs with a focus on player choice, Citizen Sleeper, well worth the time. Undertale is 40% off, matching its low price for only the second time ever, and let's be honest, this game hardly needs an introduction. It's a modern indie classic. Now at its core, Undertale is an RPG, but it flips the genre on its head with its unique approach to combat and storytelling. You'll explore though a world brimming with quirky, charming, and sometimes deeply strange characters where every encounter can be resolved through dialogue, kindness, or confrontation. The combat system then mixes traditional turn-based mechanics with bullet hell style dodging, and whether you choose to fight, flee or negotiate, your actions, they have lasting consequences. The story then, tons of soul, packed with humour, and it's all wrapped in this retro-inspired art style and incredible soundtrack. Well, let's face it, it's just become now iconic. It's a game about choice, empathy and consequences, and it's one of the most memorable RPGs you'll ever play. Stardew Valley is our final game of the video, and it's my favourite on this list. Now sure, we've seen this price before, 40% off, but not since 2018, 6 years ago, so it's a rare deal worth highlighting. And this, I guess it's the ultimate farm sim experience, one that needs little introduction at this point. You've inherited your grandfather's old farm, and you set out to turn an overgrown plot into a thriving homestead. Along the way you'll plant crops, raise animals, fish, mine, craft, and even build relationships with the charming townsfolk. The valley itself then is packed with opportunities, but the big question is whether you'll rebuild that community centre or side with a corporation. The gameplay is endlessly addictive. People have been playing this for years with good reason, and it's all wrapped in gorgeous pixel art style and a soothing soundtrack. Plus, it's worth noting, if you still have a PS Vita lying around, you get that version included too. So yes, Stardew Valley, an absolute gem of an experience. And that is the deals wrapped up for this video. What will you be adding to the library? Let us know in the comments. We always love hearing your picks. If you did enjoy this video as well, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more deal rundowns, reviews and all things PlayStation. Plus find my last 2 deals videos in the pinned comment down below. All of those deals very much still live. We had one on kind of the big budget experiences, as well as one with deals exclusively under $5. Alright, thanks for watching. Cheers all.